Yes, sir, we will start the session. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to session 3 of day 2. I am Shilpa, Assistant Professor of GRIT ECE. Would like to welcome you all for 1 week FDP on artificial intelligence impacts on telemedicine. Now I would like to request Mr. K. Ramakrishna for the topic telemedicine practices enabled. Before that, I would like to have some small introduction on this. Mr. Kalluri Ramakrishna is a research associate under Pradhan Mantri Research Fellowship from IIT Madras Department of Engineering Design since 2020 January. He obtained MTech in Medical Imaging and Informatics from the Department of School of Medical Science and Technology at IIT Kharagpur in 2018. He worked as a business analyst and research in Deloitte for a period of about 4 years. His major area of research is artificial intelligence for healthcare. So welcome you, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir. You can share the screen, sir, now.
Just wait, ma'am. Madam, can we share here? It is showing only Jupyter Notebook like that.
Sir, I have given you co-host.
I mean, I want to share my entire screen.
Yes, sir.
Because I use other things.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Okay, sir. If you share to me, I'll share the screen.
Can you see now?
Sir, white.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Only whiteboard it is showing.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Do anyone know how to share entire screen? Actually, I want to use multiple.
Okay. Stop all the
Sorry for this one.
Still it is showing whiteboard, sir.
Only whiteboard, madam.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now it is visible.
Okay. Sorry for the inconvenience. Okay, let me introduce. Here, these are the topics that one has to understand clearly before starting off whatsoever the concept that comes under data science to work on in lab environment. First one is one has to know what exactly AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning. In general, we are hearing that AI as a whole domain. In its subfield, we call ML. In its subfield, deep learning is another field. Okay, this much idea is more than enough. Next, coming to mathematical foundations, what exactly are necessary to master this data science concepts? First one is linear algebra. One has to be very much proficient in linear algebra. Second one is probability and statistics. Third one is optimization concepts. If you are familiar with these three fundamentals, you can easily work in this particular data science domain. Next thing is fundamentals of machine learning. One has to know at least some basic concepts like what is supervised learning, what is unsupervised learning, what is classification, what is clustering, what is active learning, what is reinforcement learning. These are all terms you are hearing daily, but you have to know that what exactly is meant by each and every algorithm. That is more than enough. Next one is fundamentals of deep learning. As I said earlier, deep learning itself deals with completely neural networks, which has entirely divided into a separate field. In this domain, especially two fields are getting a lot of attention now. First one is natural language processing and second one is computer vision. Okay. In all these concepts, people are outside saying that you have to learn so much of mathematics and so much of mathematics is necessary, but that is not true in reality. You have to learn only basic concepts that are necessary in this particular mentioned fields. Okay. For example, in machine learning, machine learning is broadly divided into two areas. First one is supervised learning. Second one is unsupervised learning. In supervised learning, we have two things like regression, and second one is classification. Okay. In unsupervised, mostly we will deal with clustering techniques. Okay. In regression, especially, we deal with linear regression. In classification, we deal with KNN, K nearest neighbor. Next one is decision trees. Next one is random forest. Next one is logistic regression. These are the few algorithms that are present in this environment. In supervised learning, regression is one task. Under this one, we have linear regression. In classification, we have K nearest neighbor, decision trees, random forest, and logistic regression. When it comes to unsupervised learning, in this we have clustering techniques. In this we have K-means algorithm. Okay. Before knowing what these algorithms are, let me tell what exactly is meant by what exactly is meant by unsupervised. I am telling all this because once we are clear with these concepts in at least some 10 to 15 minutes, we can easily understand what I will do in experimentation task. Okay. In supervised, we have data. In general, in any machine learning task, data means we have several data points. Data points are samples. Okay. In data, each data point contains features or labels and their corresponding targets. Okay. In the setup of supervised learning algorithm setup, in ML or DL, in machine learning or deep learning, we will have several data points. Each data points consists of features or labels, at the same time targets. Okay. This is where supervised difference can be differentiated from unsupervised. In unsupervised, we have same setup like this, but Only thing that is missing is targets. Okay. In unsupervised learning tasks, only features of the data points are present. We are not given any targets. Okay. That is the basic difference between supervised learning and unsupervised learning. Under these supervised, we have two types: regression tasks and classification tasks. What is meant by regression and what is meant by classification now? In regression tasks, we will have setup like this: x1, x2, x3, x4. In the target variable, we have some continuous values, continuous value outputs. Okay. Features x1, x2, x3, x4, data point 1, data point 2, data point 3, and so on, data point m. That means we have m data points. Okay. Each data point consists of here 4 features. Okay. Feature 1, feature 2, feature 3, feature 4, and we have another target feature, target variable. Okay. But in this target variable, we have all the continuous value outputs. For example, let us take, for example, let us take for a person, okay, I mean some 5.6, some 4.8, like 5.5, like 10. Likewise, we will have continuous values in their outputs. Continuous values in outputs. Okay. Suppose the weather condition today is humidity is one feature. Second feature is sunlight. Okay. Time. Next one is season. Suppose here I am predicting temperature prediction. Sorry, rainfall prediction. Rainfall prediction. Suppose x1 feature is humidity, x2 feature is sunlight, x3 feature is time, and x4 feature is season. We will have these values. Okay, for every data point. At the same time, we are given also the target variable, that is rainfall prediction. Here the rainfall is 5.6 centimeters according to the given weather conditions. Okay. On a summary note, I can tell you that in regression tasks, mostly we will do target variables as continuous value outputs. Continuous value outputs. Okay. Next. In under supervised learning, we have regression and classification as major tasks. I have explained completely about regression. Now coming to classification task. Now coming to classification task. Let us take, here also we have x1, x2, x3, x4 features. Similarly, target. Okay. But here targets are discrete values. Discrete values, not continuous. This is the fundamental difference from regression tasks. Okay. Suppose I have taken the CT scan of a CT X-ray scan of a particular patient who is affected from COVID. Okay. Suppose I have taken this X-ray, CT X-ray of CT image of lung of the particular COVID patient is taken, and it is having some 4 features, x1, x2, x3, x4 are extracted here, and we are given that this particular patient is having COVID. Now I am indicating that that patient is having COVID means with 1. Okay. Suppose I have taken the CT of another image, another patient who is not suffering from the COVID. Again, I will take the features from this image, x1, x2, x3, and x4. And the target variable is since this patient is not affected with COVID, I am representing this image as 0. Okay. Likewise, I will take the third patient details, his features. Likewise, classification setup is given by, we have features x1, x2, x3, and so on, some xn features with m data points. Data point 1, data point m, and we are given target. Like here, they have mentioned 0 indicates not affected by COVID, 1 indicates affected by COVID. Okay. This is just simple example. Here we are classifying only by, okay, only 2 classes are here. Now coming to multi-class classification, okay. In the target variable, suppose in the output we have classes, 3 classes. This setup is same. This particular setup remains the same. Okay. Only this one will change in multi-class classification. Like instead of 0, 1, we will have few more, like 2, 3, 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 indicates we have some 5 classes here. Okay. I hope everybody got understood. In supervised learning, only 2 classes, regression and classification. And second one is unsupervised learning. Unsupervised learning. Here, unsupervised learning, we are just given data points, x3, x4, x5. Okay. Data point 1, data point 2, and so on, data point m. x5. We are not given any target. Okay. Target is not given anywhere here. Only data points are given, so that we are having some m data points. Now I want to cluster them. Like all the data points are in this particular domain. Each data point is having some t features, x1 and x2. Now I want to cluster them. Okay. Another one is likewise. Okay. These are the few concepts one has to understand first of all before dealing with any sort of ML task or deep learning task. Okay. Supervised learning, unsupervised learning, regression, classification, and clustering techniques. That's it. Now, coming to practical point of view, what exactly is necessary to start off working in this entire ML or AI domain? Okay. First of all, one has to, suppose you are using your own system, laptop, just install Anaconda distribution. Okay. Where this Anaconda distribution will contain 2 IDEs, like integrated development environments, Jupyter Notebook and Spider. Okay. Now I will show you. How to install that Anaconda distribution. Everyone can see, right? I have changed the screen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Anaconda distribution. Here you can see individual edition. Now you can download this one into your laptop or desktop, whatever you are using right now. After you downloading this one, after installing, just install that particular Anaconda distribution in your computer. You will get to see likewise. After installation of this entire Anaconda distribution package, you can see Anaconda prompt and Anaconda navigator. Just let me open Anaconda navigator now. We are given with Anaconda, two types of IDEs, I mean integrated development environments. First one is Jupyter Notebook. It seems like this, Jupyter Notebook, where you will develop your entire code. But Jupyter Notebooks. So it is taking more time. Meanwhile, I will show you another environment also. This is Jupyter Notebook. Another one is Spider. Both the IDEs will come along with the Anaconda distribution itself. Okay. Okay. After installing Anaconda distribution, you can see Anaconda Navigator like this. Okay. Whatsoever the basic packages that are necessary to work in data science domain, everything will come with the entire Anaconda distribution. Likewise, if you see here, Jupyter Notebook, similarly, you can see Spider. Okay. Once you get this one, you can use whatsoever. I mean, either Jupyter Lab or Notebook or Spider, whichever you feel comfortable, you can go with that one. For in this session, I am going to use Jupyter Notebook. This one. Jupyter Notebook. The entire code you will write here. This is how the setup is. Okay.
So we are able to see only the tutorial, sir, not the screen.
Only
Tutorial. Linear regression tutorial we are seeing.
okay. You are unable to see the remaining things.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Even now, maybe.
Now we are seeing matrix formulation,
Yes, yes.
representation.
Matrix formulation, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Just to show you what is Jupyter Notebook. That's it.
Okay, okay, okay.
I will once I complete this one, I will come to this one. How to handle this also.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Sure.
Don't worry. Okay. In Anaconda distribution, now you can see the OneNote, right? I have changed the screen.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Now we
sir.
are able.
Okay, okay, okay. Let me continue. Here, as I said, with Anaconda distribution, you will be given Jupyter IDE and Spider. You can use any one of them, okay, according to your convenience. Next one is you are given a programming language also along with this particular distribution. Mostly people will use Python or R, okay, because entire data science in the entire data science community, you can work either in Python or R programming language. Whatsoever we are discussing here, everything is available at free of cost only. You need not pay even a single penny, free of cost only. Everything is open source. Okay. Whereas you can work everything and related to data science domain, even with MATLAB also. But MATLAB is not free, right? Okay. So we should avoid this one. Okay. Since everything is available at free of cost, so go with this one. You just need a laptop. With the basic configuration is enough. Even i3 laptop is more than enough to start off your working. Even i3 laptop configuration is more than enough. Next thing is you have to need some setup. Like suppose I am working on a particular project. I keep all my files in a particular folder and I have to work now. Okay. Depending on the particular project, whatsoever you are working on, you need certain libraries of Python and packages. So you have to, for example, I am dealing some 4 projects. Each project requirements are different from one another. Okay. So that is where the concept of environment setup comes. Conda environment setup. Okay. You can Google this one, how to do the environment setup. It is very easy. Google this one. Okay. After creating in each environment, according to your necessity, you have to install the particular packages only. I will come to later. I will show you what are the packages and everything. I am just going step by step. First thing you need to necessary is Anaconda distribution. Second one is Conda environment setup. I mean, just set up an environment for individual project and install the necessary packages. Third thing one has to focus on is Python fundamentals or R programming language. If you are going with R, just go with the fundamentals of R language. If you are going with Python, just go with the Python fundamentals. Here in this session, I am dealing with Python. That is why I'm going with the fundamentals of Python. In Python, you need not learn so many things. Whatsoever are necessary, only please learn those things only. Your ultimate aim is to just understand the code. Whatsoever is available on online, or you want to write your own code, you just need the basics. Just like data types. Every time we deal with integer, float, like strings, these three are enough. Okay, string deals with the text, integer and float deals with the numbers. More than enough. Second thing is data structures. When it comes to data structures, you might have already read in C language something like lists, like tuples. Next thing is dictionary. These are the fundamental data structures one has to be familiar with. Next one is conditional statements, just like if else conditions. Okay. Next one is loops, like while loop, for loop, like that. Next thing is modules and file handling. Suppose while working in any project, especially in Python, using Python programming languages or any other languages, while handling programming, you are working in a particular file, you have to bring some functions or modules from other files. At that point of time, these concepts of modules and file handling will come into picture. So one has to be familiar with modules and file handling also. Next thing is OOPs. Okay. OOPs means object oriented programming. It is different from functional programming. Object oriented programming. One has to be familiar with object oriented programming also. Okay. To learn Python also, don't pay anywhere any amount. Just use the internet. In YouTube, especially, here I'm noting down Kore Skeffer. His name is Kore Skeffer. Kore, SCHFER. Everything is available in YouTube at free of cost only. Okay, please go through his videos. You can understand very clearly. He explains each and everything very clearly, whatsoever I have mentioned here. Kore Skeffer. Next thing is, once you are after installation of Arconda distribution, you have to set up your own environment to work on a particular project. Next thing is, one has to be familiar with the particular Python programming fundamentals. Next thing is, this is for those guys who can afford a particular laptop with high configuration. Okay. Mostly in machine learning and deep learning, people talk about GPUs. Mostly people talk about GPUs. Every time, since the technology is changing every day, almost for every 6 months or 4 months, new GPUs are coming, just like RTX 1080, GTX 1050. Likewise, people are every day, these things are changing. So it is a bad idea to purchase a laptop with very high-end configuration. Okay. So I suggest you to go with either one of the cloud services. You have to pay small amount only, just like Amazon Web Services or Microsoft Azure Labs. Okay. They're maintaining cloud services, especially those who are interested to work in data science domain. They can use these facilities. In this, to work in this setup, you just need a basic configuration laptop. Even at the cost of 25,000 rupees, you can purchase a laptop with i3 configuration. You can start working on any sort of data science related work. Okay. Just what you need is laptop plus good internet connection. That's it. Nothing else is necessary. But depending on your utility, they will charge you here. Okay. They will charge you depending upon your utility. But this is far better, right? Instead of going to buy GPUs, high GPU laptops. Next thing is, if you are dealing with very less amount of data, something like around 10 GB of data, then Google is giving a facility at free of cost. That is Google Colab. Okay. I will show you now how to use that Google Colab. Let me change the screen. Okay. All you need is a Google account. That's it. Suppose here I have a Gmail account with my name, this Gmail ID. Here you can see Google Drive. Okay, just go to Google Drive. Suppose here, this is, if you observe here, the storage of the Google is around some 15 GB, or I think 15 GB they will give it free of cost. Now you can use this one. Okay, just let me create a folder here. JECT underscore NAW. I am creating a project new here. Just I am opening this folder. If you observe clearly, I have opened, first of all, I have opened my Gmail, or directly you can go to your Google Drive. Just right click there. Just see here. Just right click in the space wherever you created that particular folder. Just go to, you can see, just right click on that one. Now go and select Google Collaboratory. Just open this one. Okay, now you can see right here. Earlier, after installation of Anaconda distribution, after opening that Anaconda, here I have used Jupyter Notebook, which this particular Jupyter Notebook is set up, is present in my laptop. Okay, it is not in cloud environment. It is in my laptop. I have installed everything. Now coming to Google Colab, you can see the similar notebook here. Okay, depending upon your requirement of work. Suppose here I want to work on tabular data like CSV files or Excel files. I will upload here whatsoever data that is necessary into this particular environment. Okay. Suppose I want to this entire collaboratory. You can see the files here. Click on this particular folder. Now it is connecting to the runtime to enable browsing. Just click on here. Mount drive. Just click on mount drive. That means just connecting to Google Drive. Here it is asking the permission from your account, whether you want to connect Google Colab with your Google Drive. Okay. Just wait. See, you can see here. Okay. Suppose if you upload your files into Google Drive, you can only work with 15 GB of space is available here. Whereas in Google Colab, the disk is available at around 69.7 GB is available here. Okay. If your particular task takes around some 10 hours or some 6 hours or 7 hours while developing the models, you can use this environment directly. Instead of uploading the files to Google Drive, directly you can use this Google Collaboratory. Okay. Since the time is limited, I am just restricting myself to just to let you know that this facility is available. That is the major intention of mine to discuss about this one. Okay. Please feel free to use this one. It is available at free of cost only. To use this one, you guys just need a laptop with basic configuration and good internet connection. Nothing else is necessary, and your interest. That is the only thing matters. Now I am removing the desktop. Now I am going to use my only Jupyter Notebook that is available here in this after installing in my computer. Now again, let me share you OneNote. Okay. So to start off your work in data science domain, whatsoever the basic requirements that are needed, I have explained them. Anaconda, if you have a good configuration laptop, just go with Anaconda distribution on your computer with, and one has to know the packages that are necessary to your particular project. That is why one has to learn about, one has to know the Conda environment setup and has to install the packages. Next thing is one has to know the fundamentals of Python, like data types, data structure, conditions, loops, modules, and file handling and hoops. Everything is free of cost. Just go and search in the YouTube. Please go. I suggest, as I suggested you, go with the Chorus Caffer videos. It is available at free of cost only. He explains very well. Next thing is Google Colab. Those who cannot afford a particular laptop, they can go with the very less configuration laptop, and they need a high internet speed. That's it. Or if you want to go with the cloud services developed by Microsoft company and Amazon, you can use those facilities, but they will charge you according to your utility. Suppose if I use for 1 hour for particular developing my model, they will charge you for that particular 1 hour only. Suppose you are willing to just use for only 20 minutes, they will charge you for 20 minutes only. It is like best. It is the charged amount is proportional to the utility, how much time you have utilized. That's it. Now coming to, since we are talking about artificial intelligence, especially in medical domain, I just want to explain what are the different sort of medical data that is available right now in the internet or in hospitals. Okay. Usually you can see that wherever you go, only data that is available is in the number format. Mostly these numbers are stored in CSV files or Excel sheets regularly. Suppose when you enter any hospital, at the first thing they will do is they will create a file for you or maintain a particular record to particular patient. Suppose I'm going to any Apollo hospital, they will open an account with my name and every detail will be kept in that particular document or that particular account. The next thing is text data. Just I'm giving you brief things, what sort of medical data that is available. Next thing is text. Suppose I go to any diagnostic center, along with my X-ray, they will write something, okay, as a report. What is there, what is there, what is there. Suppose you go for any blood test, in the blood test, in the report, they will clearly mention each and everything. What is the WBC count? What is the RBC count? What is the likewise plasma? Every detail will be mentioned in this particular document. That means we have diagnostic reports. I mean, we are having lots of text data. Okay. Lots of text data. Next thing is images. Images means images. In images, especially CT scans, MRI, digital X-ray, fMRI, functional MRI. These are the few examples. Next thing is video data. You can record the cardiac movement or ultrasound video also. Okay. Like video data is available at the same time, audio or speech signals. Just like suppose if you look at the ECG, likewise it is visible. Second thing is EEG. These are like brain signals. Brain signals. Based on these brain signals only, people are developing systems like brain-computer interface. Brain-computer interface. Okay. They're interlinking the particular brain signal to particular task in computer. Okay. My major intention is to let you know that this is the kind of medical data that is available in the digital domain as of today. Numbers, CSV files or Excel sheets, text data. Second thing is image data like CT scans, MRI, everything, videos, audio, speech, just like any ECG or EEG signal. Since images are nothing but 2D signals, EEG or ECG are nothing but one-dimensional signals. Okay. This is where the importance of signal processing will come. 2D means image processing, 1D means signal processing. Just only they will deal with one-dimensional signals like EEG and ECG. I have just explained what are the basics that one has to understand. Second thing is what is the setup one has to keep to start working in the data science domain. Third thing is, so I'm going to work in data science domain, but beforehand, I should know, right, what exactly is the data, what sort of data that is available, that too related to medical domain. Third thing is the steps in machine learning or any deep learning task, whatsoever is necessary. First thing one has to do in any sort of data science task is one has to go with the collect data. That means either you can directly go to hospitals or directly go to internet. Because in each and every hospital today, they are maintaining each and every account, their particular reports, and what are the medications that are given by the particular doctors. Each and every detail is kept in a digital domain today. So collecting data is the first and foremost task. Second thing is exploratory data analysis. As I said, since we are using in Python, majorly to explore the data, mostly we will use Matplotlib and Seaborn libraries. Earlier I have told you regarding packages, we will install certain packages in a particular environment. This is where the topics like Matplotlib and Seaborn will come. I will show you what exactly Matplotlib and Seaborn. Similarly, data pre-processing and feature engineering. Here we will need packages like NumPy. Second thing is Pandas. These are the libraries. Third thing is after doing the feature engineering or data pre-processing, one has to go for the machine learning model preparation. For machine learning model preparation, one has to understand the package of scikit-learn, where ML models are developed. Third thing is we have to go for DL model preparation, I mean deep learning model preparation. To prepare deep learning model preparation, one has to be comfortable with the TensorFlow developed by Google. Second thing is PyTorch, that is developed by Facebook. Okay, one has to be comfortable with these packages like Facebook. Second thing is Google's TensorFlow. My major intention to let you know that is only these are enough to start working in your area of problem whatsoever you are working right now in the especially data science domain. First thing is collecting data, go with the hospital or internet. Second thing is exploratory data analysis, Matplotlib and Seaborn. That is, suppose we have data, I want to see the data in graphs or in visualize. I want to visually see the data. That is where you have to go for MATLAB and Seaborn. Third thing is I want to work on data. This is where you will use these two packages, NumPy and Pandas. Third thing is machine learning model preparation. Here we have to be comfortable with scikit-learn. Last thing is deep learning model preparation. Here you have to be comfortable with TensorFlow and PyTorch. All these libraries are available in Python. They're available for Python, especially if you install the setup of Anaconda setup. Suppose if your setup is with Anaconda environment, all these packages will come automatically. You need not install anything new. Okay, to start working in data science domain, each and everything package will come with the Anaconda distribution. Now let me show you what is NumPy, what is visualization library, and what is Pandas. Okay, first let us focus on NumPy modules. What exactly is NumPy is? Suppose in the data, as I mentioned earlier, since data is available in several ways like numbers, text, images, videos, or audio or speech, I have to represent any kind of data in a single way. Okay, that is why they have invented this NumPy library. NumPy library, irrespective of the data type you have in digital domain, like images, numbers, text, video, audio, or speech, irrespective of the type of data, end of the day, in machine learning tasks or deep learning tasks, you have to represent this entire data in NumPy array only. Okay, that is why as a data scientist or the one who is working in data science domain, one has to be very much master the skill to work on NumPy library. Okay, I will show you, and I will I am sharing the screen. Now you can see everything. As I said earlier, everything is available at free of cost. If you type in here NumPy module in Python.
The screen sharing is not visible.
Sorry. Can you see now?
Yes.
Okay. Just go to NumPy. Okay. Just open the browser and type in NumPy in Python. Now you can see each and everything is mentioned here. To install this particular package, some command will be there like pip install pip install NumPy. Or since the documentation is always it is very lengthy, people whoever has already studied it and they're writing several blogs in internet today. That is why I suggest you to directly go with the blogs, because after reading so much time, they will simplify the things and they will explain you. Okay, so better to go for directly the blogs itself. If you find any difficulty, then you can go to documentation, you can refer there. Here I will suggest you something like Analytics Vidya blog, Analytics Vidya. You can see here, there they have clearly explained each and everything related to NumPy module. Okay, if you want to be familiar with the entire things whatsoever NumPys are available here, I will show you. Please go through this blog if you have time. NumPy, since as I said earlier, whatsoever the data that is available in digital domain, end of the day it should be represented in NumPy array only. NumPy array means n-dimensional array. Suppose I have created a list here, 1, 2, 3, 4 here. I want to convert this one into array. This is the output. I will show you a simple example. Just like array of np.array of. Everybody can see the screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Here I am opening a new document. To get your hands dirty on something, just go to that particular NumPy or whatsoever library and open a Jupyter notebook and start working. Suppose here.
Sir, enlarge the screen, sir.
Okay, sir. Sorry, I don't know how. Oh, sorry. Can you see now? Everyone can see.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Comfortable, right?
Yes.
Sir.
Okay, let us go. Just before using this one, after installing pip install NumPy, one has to, suppose I want to use the NumPy module, I have to mention in the code like import import NumPy as np. Instead of every time, see here I am typing just np. To type this entire NumPy, I am just using the simple name np. That is why it is represented like this. First of all, one has to install this particular, import this particular module NumPy. See here, it is imported now. Now I will use here np.array of. Now it, suppose I am giving a variable as a. Now I am, suppose, see here, you can see now I want to print this array now. Okay, either use print of a. Now you can see here, this is a NumPy array. Okay, since at the end of the day, here also we are storing the data only, but these are different from lists, which we basically use as a data structure earlier. Since handling with the list is very difficult, that is why people went and invented this NumPy array, especially in scientific computing domain. What I want to let you know is, this is how you have to use this NumPy package. I will suggest you go through these blogs, whatsoever you are comfortable with. Here I am mentioning something like Analytics Vidya. Second one is Medium. Medium is the blog name. You can type Medium NumPy. Okay, here you can see easily explained modules are available here. Okay, see here, just open a Google Colab, Google Drive or something. If you install service, okay, whatever comfortable, just open a Jupyter notebook and type the commands, whatever are available there. Just get your hands dirty on. That's it. Medium, something like Analytics Vidya. Another thing is like Machine Learning Mastery. Machine Learning Mastery. These are the few blogs. Every day you can buffer. They will explain you in a very easy manner. Okay, you need not go for any textbook also. Just use your internet properly, like YouTube and blogs. More than enough to get your hands dirty on and master the skill of data science. This is one guy, Machine Learning Mastery. This website is also very good, very good. As I mentioned earlier also, Analytics Vidya, Machine Learning Mastery. Another one is Medium. One more thing is there. Python Engineer. Some few websites I am letting you know. And Python engineer. Suppose if you do not understand any concept with respect to machine learning, go and see the Khan Academy YouTube videos also. Very well they explain. Khan Academy. With respect to mathematical concepts, I am suggesting you this particular channel, Khan Academy. Okay, I am deviating from the concept, I think. Okay. One, if you want to be comfortable with a particular NumPy package, just go with this one. Few things I will explain you in the blog. The time is very restricted. Okay, ultimate guide for NumPy. This is the recent blog someone has written in April 20th. You can see it only 1 year. Okay. Depending upon the task, you have to go there. Suppose I want to, here you can see array of zeros, array of ones, random numbers. Second thing is you can represent, so in general in linear algebra we deal with vectors, matrices, and third thing is three-dimensional objects also. Just like any, if you take in image processing, every image is represented as a color image, where image can, each and every image contains RGB, like separate 3 layers. Every layer can be considered as a matrix. Now, if I keep all these layers, it will constitute as a 3D diagram now. Like we can say that one as a 3D array. Okay. Vector is a single dimensional array. Image is a 2-dimensional array, and the third one is video or RGB images. Okay. So let me open once. One note. I can explain it clearly. Okay. Suppose I want to represent a vector. I just need a numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. This means 1-dimensional only, like 1, 2, 3, 4. Whereas in matrix, you need like a structure X, Y, Z. Suppose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. One has to be comfortable with this. Okay. Here we are saying that this this structure is something like 4 by 1. This dimension is something like 3 cross 3. These are nothing but the dimensions. Okay. Suppose if I see a RGB image, suppose I want to represent this one in array, I will write like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Suppose to represent the vector, we have used only single bracket. To represent the matrix, we have used 2 brackets. To represent the RGB image, we will use 3 brackets. Okay. Likewise, since that is the main intention, here the size is like 228 cross 28 cross 3. 3 indicates RGB channel, whereas 28 indicates image size 20 cross 28, width and height. Okay. Now entire RGB image can easily be represented in a NumPy array. Okay. Similarly, only single matrix or single image can be like black and white image. These things can be represented in matrix format. That is why we go for 2-dimensional NumPy array. Suppose normal values, just like any vector, can be represented in 1-dimensional vector. Okay. This is nothing but 1 dimension. These are the few fundamentals one has to be familiar with while working in NumPy module. Okay. I will show. Okay, sorry. See here. Everyone can see the browser, right? Not OneNote.
Yes, sir. We are seeing browser.
Okay. Let me choose. You can see that in NumPy arrays, after storing these data, several data like Excel sheets or numbers, I mean images, videos, everything into NumPy array. End of the day, after storing that particular data, you will use this NumPy array only. That is why I want you to master these concepts. Just browse through the any blog, matrix. Here you can see, if I want to type this entire number 248, I have this command np.arrange of 2, 10, 2. so that you will get all these values 2, 4, 6, and 8. Next lanes, suppose 0 to 1, I need around some 10 numbers. I can give this command like np dot linspace. Suppose let me do this one. I want to type this one. Go here, just type one. You can see here. Suppose here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, only 5 numbers. Suppose I want 10 numbers, I will get 10 numbers. Okay, this is how to use NumPy. According to your need, just browse, Google it, and get familiar with the particular NumPy library. After creating the NumPy, you can shape or reshape it. You can see here. Suppose it is a matrix, that is where they have indicated with 2 dimension. To note the dimension, you have this one, a dot n dimension. Okay. Next thing is shape of NumPy array. See here. Suppose this is the matrix 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Suppose this is the matrix 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is how it is. Size is nothing but number of elements that are present in the array. Reshaping it and flattening the number. This is the majorly done in, especially in deep learning tasks, very much important. So one has to be familiar with all these functions. Sorry, we call it as methods since they are in classes. All these methods are available. How to use these methods, that is what you have to be familiar with. If you are good at this one, you can do these tasks in a nick of the time. Okay, expanding an NumPy array, squeezing. Okay, see here. Suppose earlier I said RGB image. This is the R channel, this is G channel, and this is B channel. All these 3 will constitute a sum up and constitute a single RGB image only. Okay. Likewise, you can see 3-dimensional here, width, height, and depth also. RGB. Likewise, 3-dimensional data also be represented in NumPy. After creating the NumPy array, you can slice particular amount from the NumPy array. That is where you will use the slicing and indexing. Slicing a NumPy array. Suppose if I have this entire matrix, if I want to extract only R channel only, that to R channels only first row and second column element, I have to give according to that one. Okay, everything is explained clearly in here. Just go through those blocks. This is what NumPy will deal with it. Okay. Next thing is pandas. Pandas is and the suppose now pandas. Okay, pandas mostly deal with CSV files and Excel sheets. CSV files and Excel sheets. The algorithm which I am going to show you now, that will deal in pandas only. Okay, mostly this is arrangement is like this: x1, x2, x3, x4, and we will have some target variables in Excel sheet. This is what the structure is. Each column means feature. We have data point 1, data point 2, data point 3. Likewise, we have some data points. Suppose this is the structure of a particular Excel sheet. After creating this Excel sheet, if I want to use the pandas, instead of using in Excel sheet, they will load this Excel sheet into data frames. Data frames are nothing but, instead of Excel, they will use pandas. In pandas, we call, instead of Excel, they named it as data frame. Okay. Once we load this Excel sheet into data frame, you can use all the analysis you can do easily. In machine learning task, sometimes you suppose here we have, in the given problem, we have only 4 features and 1 target variable. Okay. In machine learning, sometimes you may have to decrease this number. Suppose instead of 4, I want to use only 2 features. In some other tasks, I may use 10 features. Instead of these 4 features, using some basic mathematical calculations, like x1 and x2 is another feature, like x1 and x4 is another feature, like x1 and x3 is another feature. Likewise, I will, instead of 4 features, I will develop these feature engineering skills, and I will develop around 10 features. Now coming to, instead of 4 features, I am bringing down to only 2 features. Okay. So that means we have to eliminate 2 columns or features. In such kinds of tasks, all these tasks can be done easily using this pandas library. Okay. And if you want to access a particular row, you can easily access that row, or if you want to eliminate in a particular column, you want to develop few columns, all these tasks can easily be done by pandas. So one has to be familiar with pandas library also. Okay. While explaining the machine learning algorithm, I will show you how this one will work. Last thing is matplotlib visualization. Okay. I will suggest you some another blog here. Same analytics Vidya only. Otherwise, you can directly go to matplotlib. Okay. There you can about this package. Each and every detail is mentioned clearly, along with the examples also. Even cheat sheet also. Suppose after doing so many tasks, if you want, it is like notes. If you want, go and refer this one easily. Open this one plot. See here. Suppose in my task I want to use this plot. Just click on that simple plot. Now you can see. Okay, sorry. Now everyone can see the browser, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I just only typed matplotlib in the Google. Okay. Once you, instead of looking at the data in tabular format like in pandas, you can use that particular data to represent in images. Since human brain can easily attract to this one in the format of images, you can see this particular library. Each and every example is mentioned clearly. According to your need, it is your responsibility to decode this code and use for in your utility. Okay. So in summary note, I can tell you, just wait. Data visualization. See here, matplotlib data, mostly in data science domain. See here. See here. The data is in here in tabular format. Instead of tabular format, it is represented in images. I mean graphs. You can easily extract the details from the task. Okay. So that is why they have invented these things. Matplotlib and CBAR. These are the 2 libraries. CBAR, its name is CBAR. First one is matplotlib, another one is CBAR. Okay. Types of plots here. While explaining the algorithm, I will let you know what are these categorical variables or what are these numerical variables. Okay. These are the mostly used plots like scatter plot, line plot, similarly box plot, violin plot. All these plots are used to just to explore the data. Okay. You can see here, suppose, see here, line plot is seen here. Similarly, it is a scatter plot. How to do this scatter plot? That code is already given here. Just use this one for your need. Okay. Next thing is regression plot. Next thing is scatter plot. Now coming to these scatter plots and line plots are especially for numerical variables. Numerical variables in the sense, as I mentioned earlier, x1, x2, x3, and x4 some features. Among those features, x1 may be something like it contains numbers, just like 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1.5, 2.5, 6.5, like that, just a regular continuous value data, or some other variables, just like suppose in x2 is contains, it is the gender of a person. Okay, gender of the patient, whoever comes into the hospital. Suppose that gender can be represented only as male and female. That is like strings, right? Only they can be, such kind of variables can be considered as categorical variables. Mostly we will deal with numerical and categorical. Numerical variables can easily be used in scatter plots and regression plots or line plots. Next thing is categorical plots. Categorical plots are mostly used in distribution plots. Okay, like in histogram. See here, histogram is just for only one type of numerical variable only. Next thing is, okay. Once we get into, see here, something like if I want to develop the matplotlib for an entire thing, I mean, in the given data, suppose I have 4 variables, x1, x2, x1, and can develop the plots for each and every variable. Okay, x1, 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 x2, x3, x4, x4, x5, sorry, x1, x2, like that. For every 2 variables, I can plot a graph here in a nick of the time. Okay, easily. Now coming to the categorical plots, this is like box plot where we mostly use in statistics domain. To box plot will help you to eliminate the data that is present in outliers. Outliers means suppose particular column contains all the data. Among those data, we just have to eliminate few points, whichever are considered as outliers. Those outliers can easily be identified using box plots. Okay. And similarly, heat maps. Okay. Just see here. All sorts of plots are available in a single way. Okay. As I said, regression plot, next SWAM plot, similarly box plots, all these plots can be available here. Okay, only thing you have to do is you have to get familiar with the matplotlib and seaborn libraries to draw any kind of graph in data science domain. That is enough. We have explained NumPy library, Pandas library, and matplotlib and seaborn library. Okay, last thing is to, after suppose I will store the data using NumPy library. If I want to do any sort of data manipulation or data exploration, data manipulation or data analysis task, I will go with the Pandas library. If I want to see the data in visible format, I will go for matplotlib or seaborn library. Now, after doing all these things, after arranging things, I will go with the machine learning model now. To deal with machine learning model, one has to be familiar with sklearn. Okay, sklearn in Python. See here, this is also one package only, scikit-learn. Okay, if you want to get familiar with, see here, first in the beginning of the class, sorry, in the beginning of the session, I have mentioned regression, classification, and clustering. All these things can be easily be done using this scikit-learn library. Okay, now if you want to develop a machine learning model, go with the scikit-learn library. If you want to go with the deep learning library, deep learning models, you can go with the PyTorch or TensorFlow. You can see here, TensorFlow. A neat documentation is available here. TensorFlow to develop deep learning models, not machine learning model. This is only for deep learning tasks. Okay, where data is very huge amounts are available. This is developed by Google. Next one is PyTorch. PyTorch. This is developed by Facebook. Okay. Okay. In summary, I can say that if you want to work in data science domain, you have to be familiar with these 5 libraries. If you're good at with this one, you can do the task on your own without depending on any MATLAB or any other softwares. You can do your task on your own. I mean, you can start your research work in this domain. NumPy library, matplotlib or Pandas, sorry, NumPy library, Pandas. Third one is matplotlib or seaborn. For machine learning tasks, I will go with the scikit-learn. And for the deep learning tasks, I will go with TensorFlow or PyTorch libraries. If you want to learn each and everything, you can go with the several blogs are there, or you can directly go to the particular website and you can easily read that documentation and go with that the flow. These are the fundamentals one has to know earlier before going to develop any sort of models. Okay. Here, few fundamental mathematics. Second thing, setup of the environments. Third thing is acquainted with a particular programming language, either R or Python. Last thing is you have to be familiar with all the libraries that are necessary. And now I will show you one simple machine learning algorithm, that is linear regression. Okay, in Jupyter notebooks. Now see here. Now let me show you. Here in this, see here, all these libraries I have discussed. Go and Google it. You can easily get your hands dirty on. Next thing, NumPy, Pandas, everything gets finished. Next thing is visualization tools. Next one is now coming to the machine learning task, which I am going to do now. Okay, machine learning. Here I am discussing only linear regression. Here I will discuss. Everyone can see the OneNote, right?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay. Here I am writing linear regression. Okay. Linear regression. Now, suppose I have data here. Linear regression can be applied to two types, like univariate regression. At the same time, they will tell another one as multivariate. Multivariate in the sense, as I mentioned earlier, x1, x2, x3, x4 are the features. Last one is target variable. Suppose if I want to use only one of the features and I will erase all these things, I just have only x1 and x1 feature and its target variable. These things will come under univariate. I mean, only one variable. Okay. When it comes to multivariate, I will use all these variables like x3, x4. Okay, and target. That's it. Now I have x and y data points like target values, x feature values. These are target values. Now I have drawn a scatter plot here where x values and y values are represented in a 2D plot. Major task of the machine learning linear regression algorithm is to fit a line. Okay, you have to fit a particular line. This is the blue points are the data. Here I have fitted this data with this particular red line, which is developed by scikit-learn libraries linear regression. Okay. Once that fitting is done, we will predict the data according to this new fitted line. Okay. Suppose I have fitted the line with mx plus b. These are the mathematical terms, not necessary as of now. Now you can again keep these x1 points like x values. Now you will get new points like what I mean to say is, suppose x are the features, y as the target values, last one is the predicted values. After developing the model, I will predict the model. Okay. To predict this model, I have developed this sklearns, I mean scikit-learn's linear regression model. Okay. This is done like this. Same thing. What happens is difference between y and y hat, I mean predicted value using this model and target values, that error should be reduced. Target minus predicted. This value should be reduced in such a way that we have to develop model. Okay. Model means we have to develop the model parameters. Okay. Here I have represented with theta naught plus theta 1 into xi. Here we will, after fitting this model, we will know theta naught and theta 1. That's it. Similarly, coming to multivariate regression, instead of I can say, see here, y hat equals to theta naught plus theta 1 x1 plus theta 2 x2 plus theta 3 x3 plus theta 4 x4. Theta naught indicates just terms like bias will come. As of now, it is not necessary. Just understand this one. This is how mathematical model is developed using scikit-learn. Okay. Theta naught theta, using the data, the system will learn these values. Once we learn these values, we can predict the values of y hat. Again, here also we will do y minus y hat value should be reduced. Okay. Okay. Now let me share the screen. Here we have developed the entire model. Okay. I hope everyone can see now the Jupyter notebook. Okay. Everyone can see, right?
Sir, Jupyter notebook is visible.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Here we are developing a medical cost data set model using linear regression. The data is like this. You can see here. Okay. Earlier I mentioned features X1, X2, X3, X4 like that. Here the features are age, sex, BMI, I mean BMI index. Next thing is children, smoker, region, charges. If you data set is available in Excel sheet, that Excel sheet has to be first of all loaded. Okay. See here, to accomplish this task, I have used the basic libraries pandas, numpy, matplotlib, cbar. Matplotlib and cbar for visualization, numpy is for storing the data and data manipulation, pandas is also for data manipulation. Okay. See here, I am reading the file insurance.csv. Okay. In the particular folder where I have typing this, working this Jupyter notebook on, I will load this data insurance.csv using this pd.read_csv command. After loading this one, you can see here. Just let me run. Every time after writing the code here, just go to run here. Okay. All the modules are imported. Next thing is now load the file. Okay. See here, I have typed the command df.head 2 brackets. That means you can see here we have 1338 data points and 7 columns. I mean total data points are 1338 and the features are 7 features. Okay, features are nothing but age, sex, BMI, these features. If you observe clearly, just let me add one more here. df.info. See here, every detail of the particular feature is given. Age is one feature. It is a data type. How many are there? 1338. BMI, how many are there? Okay. Similarly, I will type another command df.describe. See here. In these features, sex related to male and female. So it is a categorical variable. Next thing is children. This one is also categorical variable. Next thing is smoker. Here it is a categorical variable. Here children, it is not a number. This is like in this program they have used it as a categorical variable only. Region is southwest, northwest, all this stuff. So these are categorical variables, which these things can be handled by pandas dummy command. Next thing is df.info describe. See here, all the numerical variables, age, BMI, children, and charges. All these are numerical variables. These things can be described like this. Yes, see the particular feature. Age is having all these details: 75%, 24, and min, standard deviation, mean, count, all these things. Okay. Similarly, for every other numerical variables here, only numerical variables are listed out here. Now coming here, I am developing the model h theta of x using these features. Instead of x1, we have age. Instead of x2, here sex. Third one is BMI, children, smoker, region, likewise. Okay. End of the day, after finishing this model, I have to estimate these values: theta naught, theta 1, theta 2, theta 3, theta 4, theta 5, and theta 6. That is what the main aim of this machine learning algorithm. See here, some basic mathematics is here. Here in this next one is I am listing out the. See here, I am using the cbar library sns.lmplot. I run this program. See here. Charges, sorry, here the graph is x variable is BMI, y variable is charges. Okay. Likewise, it is mentioned there. Next thing is ultimately end of the day, we are doing cost function minimization only. As I said earlier, predicted values and target values error should difference of the two values. I mean, error has to be reduced. That is estimating the correct parameters like theta 1, theta naught, theta 2, all that stuff. Using basic mathematics, one can understand this one. X transpose X, whole inverse, X transpose Y. This is how parameters of the theta can be listed out using the mathematical formulas. To develop these mathematical formulas, I mostly depend on NumPy package only. I mean, NumPy library. I will show you all that stuff. Now coming to exploratory data analysis. See here, using the pandas data frame, they have used df.describe. Type here. Okay. Next thing is df.info. These commands. Now coming to, suppose in this particular column, sometimes you will find null values also. I mean, suppose 19 is present here, 18 is present here. Maybe this 28 is option here. I mean, no data. It is represented by 0 or NaN values. People call in machine learning domain, Na null values are NaN values. Even 33 is also option that is represented by blank or NaN values. All those values can be listed out, and those values can be easily replaced with the other values in that particular feature using basic pandas library. Okay, that is where data analysis or data manipulation task will help, especially using pandas. Thank God, here in this data, whichever I have taken, there are nothing like null values. If you want, you can see here. df.info, they have mentioned all the non-null count, means only non-integers or non-zero values. All values are represented, that to 1338. We have data points also 1338, so that's good. Now coming to exploratory data analysis. Next one is info. Next one here, see here. That is where program is written to find out the null values in a graph. See here, no graph is mentioned here. There is no missing value in the data set. Okay. Next thing is, suppose in machine learning, mostly we will compare two variables, whatever are variables that are present in the given data set. That is where this correlation coefficient values will come. Suppose in the df.correlation, all the numerical features correlation coefficient will be calculated very easily. Just see here. This is the correlation coefficient between age and age. Okay, that is 1. BM and BMI is 1. Similarly, children and children is 1, because I am comparing both the same variables only. Suppose if you compare age and charges, you can see 0.3. Okay, sometimes this value even be negative also. What it tells is, suppose the correlation coefficient is ranges from -1 to +1. If it is approaching +1, it indicates variables are correlated more. If it is -1, both the variables are correlated more, but in the negative sense. That means if one value is increasing, another value is decreasing. Suppose +1 means both the values are increasing only. Okay. Suppose two variables are highly dependent on each other, then there is no use of using these two features. That is why we can eliminate one feature. While in the earlier discussion, while discussing, I told you about some 4 features are there. We can reduce it to 2 features. Or you can increase it to 10 features. Suppose in the case of 4 features to 2 features, only this correlation coefficient can be used as a parameter to estimate what are the features to eliminate. Okay, to eliminate that particular column also, we will depend on data frame that is given by that is handled by pandas library only. Next thing is, let me distribution of insurance charges here. Some exploratory data analysis task is done. See here, charges value is taken and the histogram of the particular thing is developed here. It is following a normal distribution. Since the values are same graph only, left graph indicates the high values, second graph indicates the log applied values. Okay. Next thing is something like violent plot. Okay. Once these things indicate the how exactly that particular variable is present and how its data is present. See here, male and female. Female data charges are mostly, see here, wherever that wider area is there, that wider area indicates that particular data. Here all are in female, it is indicating that mostly values are lie with the charges of 5,000. But in the case of here, smoker, yes or no, if the smoker, it is a bimodal distribution, not a unimodal distribution. Mostly values are situated at around 20,000, whereas here mostly values are situated at around 5,000 like that. Such values can be easily be interpreted using the graphs. That is the advantage of Matplotlib Seaborn library. Next, coming to this one, I have plotted a box plot. See here, according to the children, we have discussed this stuff. Okay. Now we can even group by children. These are few data analysis tasks. Since the time is at hand. Next thing, scatter plot. Next thing is, you can see the scatter plot, mostly used plot while comparing two variables. Okay, especially numerical variables, we will use this one. See here, BMI with respect to charges, age with respect to charges, both are numerical variables only. We can interpret something out of it. Something like if the age is, you see here, smoker or non-smoker, red indicates not smoker. Suppose the non-smoker charges, because non-smokers will suffer less diseases, whereas the smoker guys will suffer from more diseases. That is why the medical cost will be more for those guys, whereas for the non-smokers it will be less. Just these are all these things only for exploratory purpose. Next thing is data pre-processing task. What we have to do is, in the given data, we have something like categorical variables, like see here, so region is a categorical variable, children is a categorical variable, sex is a categorical variable. Now, since machine learning models can deal with only data in the numbers only, so we have to convert these string variables into something like numbers. That task is done by using Pandas dummy concept. Okay, dummies function. See here, we call, in technical terms they will call as one-hot encoding. While doing this one, see here, before applying this one, I have something like sex. Under sex feature, we have female, male, like that. In the smoker, we have yes, no, like that. Okay. Now using Pandas, we can get the dummies. See here. Let me show you by running this one. Compare this table where everything is represented by numbers only. Okay. After using this function, get dummies, every feature is represented with integer or some value of the number only. Earlier we are given with categorical variables. Okay, like text data is also available there. Everything has to be converted into integers or some numbers. Now coming to charges, since the charges contain high values like 10,000, 20,000 like that, they have reduced it to something like logarithm has been applied on that one. Okay. Next thing is the scalar library. I have to separate the parts of features data. At the same time, target data has to be separated now, where features data is given as a input, whereas y target is given as it will be given as output. See here, from scalar import train test split. This is the module I will import. Now x data without charges. Suppose, see here, except charges, remaining all are features only in this particular data. Except charges, remaining all the things are features only. That is why I will dropping this charges while giving to x values. Here encode dot drop charges x is equals to 1. Now coming to y, df underscore decode charges. See here, we are by using these commands, you can easily type that one. Now see here. Now in the entire data set, I have 1338 points and 7 features. Sorry, total after encoding, we only have 13 features. Now I have dropped charges feature. That is why the data set X contains only 936, 12. Since entire data is never given to the model, only part of the data is given to the model. That is what we call as trained data. The remaining data, whichever, suppose 100%, suppose under 100% is data, whatever I have, here I am eliminating 30% data into test data, and only 70% data is given as training data. That 70% data is going into X train, similarly Y train. Okay. Similarly, that 30% data is going into X underscore test and Y underscore test. Okay. Now, if you run this one, you can see here everything. Okay. Like 30% of 1338 is nothing but 402, and 70% is nothing but 936. Out of the 13 features, I have eliminated one feature, that is charges, that is given as Y value. That is why it is represented like this. Remaining 12 features are remain in the X train and X test. Okay. Now coming to the model building. Now this is done using basic mathematics. Earlier I have shown you. Okay. Here I am showing using sklearn module. See here, from sklearn.scikit-learn.linear model, I have imported linear regression because I am working on now linear regression. I have imported that data. linear regression equal to linear regression. Now I have simple commands only. Okay. So simple commands only. Now I will type this one, run this one. See here. Each and every parameters are estimated like this. Theta naught, theta 1, theta 12. Similarly, this is estimated using the basic mathematics like NumPy module. This is estimated sklearn underscore theta. This is estimated using basic sklearn library. Okay. After implementing that library, you can even suppose here I am dealing with very less amount of data. After training on very huge number of data points, after training for several hours, if you are you have to save that model. Okay. Next time, whenever you want to use that model to work on some test data, it is not necessary to run the entire experiment. Whenever you run your experiment, you can even save your particular model also. Here it is. The simple comments are here. See here, from sklearn.externals, I can save this model. Okay. And that in that particular folder where I am working now, all that a new file is created like this, save model folder.pkl. Here I am using another package named as pickle, pickle, import pickle. Okay. Next thing is model evaluation. After training that particular data, I have to now I have to apply this one on the test data. Okay. For linear regression, see here, this is using basic mathematics terms, here using libraries. Okay. Both has to give the same result only, 0.18779. See here, entire error that is coming on the y-test data. Now, R-square values, you can compare both the R-square values. Both are giving the same values only. Using basic mathematics, that is NumPy. Here I am using the module directly, sklearn module. Okay. Since R-square value is at very high, so we can say that this particular model, whichever I have developed, it is performing well only. Okay. That's it. Madam?
Completed, sir.
Completed.
Yes. Thank
Any
you,
questions?
sir. Any questions, ma'am? From participant side? I think no questions, sir.
Okay, madam.
Thank you, sir, for explaining all the fundamentals of machine learning and deep learning and all the libraries.
Okay.
And I hope that it will be helpful for all the research works, those who
Okay.
are beginners or research scholars.
Madam,
Really,
sorry to interrupt you.
Sir.
My major intention of the entire session is to just to aware of what are the things available at free of cost and to start work on your own. That is the ultimate aim of this entire session from my side. Thank you, madam.
Yes,
Please
sir.
go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. That's all, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, madam. Can I log out now?
Yeah, yes, sir. You can. Participants have shared all the 3 forms for 3, 4, and 5 sessions in WhatsApp group as well as in Zoom chat box. Please fill that because that itself is considered as attendance, and every session attendance is mandatory to get the certificate. And yesterday's attendance cannot be shared because the session is closed. So only today's 3 forms you have to fill. Thank you. I'm ending the session.
Excuse me, madam. Excuse me, madam.
Sir.
Same form you have to fill 3 sessions, madam.
No, sir. It's not same form, sir. It's for session 3, it's session 4, and session 5.
In chat box, madam.
In WhatsApp group also shared, sir.
Okay, madam. Thank you. I will take you, madam.
Now today we are shared in WhatsApp group, sir. Tomorrow onwards we'll share in Zoom chat box, sir.
It is better
Yeah,
to share in the this only, madam. Zoom chat only.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, madam.
Yes.
Here it is